Hello, and welcome to another episode of Straight Guy K-Drama Reviews, the show where I watch a K-drama and then I review it from a straight guy's perspective. This week, I'm excited to talk about one of the most watched cable dramas in Korean history, Reply 1988. This show is actually one of the first requests I got from you guys on what show to review. Okay, so I'm excited to go through my 10-point review. I got my notes here, and I'm going to start with the plot. So, the series follows the lives of five teenagers and their families, and we watch them go through their highs, their lows, their stories. Um, and behind these stories are also real life events happening in 1988, 1989, and a little bit of the 90s as well. So, unlike other Korean dramas, this one is actually more episodic, meaning there's maybe one storyline that you really have to follow. Other than that, you can pretty much come into a random episode and still appreciate it for what it is. So there's a little bit of How I Met Your Mother in this because you get to meet the older version, the 45-year-old version of some of the teens, right? So there's a little bit of a mystery of who ended up together, married. So there's a little bit of that How I Met Your Mother mystery reveal towards the latter part of the series. I want to talk about my favorite episode. So when you watch this series, there's 20 episodes in all. You're probably gonna have a favorite episode because each episode has a main theme. I wouldn't say a main lesson, but a main theme, a main story, a main issue, and so you're gonna develop a favorite episode because of that. And for me, it's episode 17. So, as usual in that episode, there's a great mix of comedy, of drama. This is really a family drama, a slice of life show. And for me, I really like episode 17 because it talked a lot about dreams. So, the teens, the main characters, they some of them go through these thoughts like, what do you really want to be when they grow up? So they talk amongst each other about what your dreams are. But towards the end of the episode, there's also a revelation because the parents are also talking about their dreams. And I thought it was just beautiful that, for the parents, as diverse as they are, they all had one common dream, which is they want whatever their children's dreams to come true. And I thought that was just, really beautiful, a beautiful way to talk about what parents really want, right? At the end of the day, they have their own dreams, they have their own dream jobs, aspirations. Um, but really, at the heart of the matter, no matter who the parent is, as long as you're a good parent, you want what's best for your kids. So I thought that was beautiful. Okay, I want to talk about production value. So, I think the director himself deserves praise, right? But I think the department that really deserves the praise for this show is production design. I mean, you have a show that's mostly set in 1988 and 1989, and the production team, the production design team is amazing. It's very well researched, so they're able to drop in these uh, items that aren't very important. A pencil sharpener here, a game console there, um, an old TV. Like, none of these things will actually affect the plot really majorly, but just putting all of these little knickknacks from the 80s and the early 90s really gave the show a real authenticity, I think. All right, let's talk about the main character. I mean, this is an ensemble cast show, so there's plenty of main characters, but I thought we should give a little bit of credit, extra credit, to Hyeri, who plays Sung Duk-sun. So she's pretty much the main character of the show, and she plays Duk-sun, she's a middle child. She's super lovable, but she's like the thing that I found super endearing about her is that she really, really wants to study hard, especially for her senior year, right? And she's just one of those people who really just can't study and can't get good grades, no matter how earnest she is, right? So I love the fact that throughout the series, she keeps trying to study, and every time people talk, like, "Oh, where is Joksun now? She's probably hard at work studying," and then the next scene you'll see her sleeping, right? So it's like, um, that's like one of the most endearing things I've seen. Um, and she was able to portray the character really well, show that she was very pure-hearted, very kind, and that's probably um, how it was successful, how believable it was that, two or three, I won't say so that I won't spoil anything, but two or three of her friends actually fall for her, right? Or start to like her. And it's very understandable, it's very believable because of the way Hyeri acted. Like, she was pretty, but she has these facial expressions that are super silly, super funny at the same time. So I thought she did a really, really great job. All right. Now, since this is an ensemble cast, my next three won't be characters but ensembles themselves. So, number five, I want to talk about the boys, right? So, the five teens consists of Jokson as the only girl and then four other guys. So, they're Park Bo-gum, um, who plays Choi Tek, the Go master. So it's almost like an East Asian version of chess, right? So he's a grandmaster, and then you have Ryu Jun Yol, who plays Kim Jong Hwa, who's this really stoic um, friend, right? He barely talks about his emotions, but he's a good guy. And then Go Kyung Pyo plays Song Sun Woo, who's basically like the good son. He comes from a poor family, but he gets the best grades, and he's like the perfect son who takes care of the little sister. He's like basically the good guy. And then finally Lee Dong Hui, who plays Ryu Dong Ryong. So he's basically like a troublemaker. He also gets really bad grades, but unfortunately he's also the son of the school's dean, right? So that just magnifies the situation. Um, so this group of friends, I thought they performed really well by showing a lot of camaraderie, and I think that kind of camaraderie can't be um, faked. I'm pretty sure these guys are friends on and off set, and that's why they were able to portray such a believable camaraderie among friends. And the one thing I really appreciated about this group of friends is that, you know, they were deep down good guys. They were all very different, right? Choi Tek was this very eccentric, silent character. Um, Dong Ryong was a troublemaker who barely studied. Sun Woo was a goody two shoes. Jung Hwa was just this guy who seemed to not care at all. So they're all very different people, but beneath it all, they're all really great guys. So throughout the series, you're gonna see that no matter what their priorities are, they drop everything for their friends. And I thought it's pretty refreshing for you know a K drama wherein the group of friends, they never encounter a fight, especially over a love triangle or over aspirations. That's very rare for a K drama to have a group of friends that stay friends and they barely fight. Number six, the dads. So I want to talk about the dads. So there's Song Dong Il, there's Kim Seung Kun, and Moo Seung Choi. And then we're gonna add in the fourth dad, who's not as main as the other dads, but he does show up a lot as well. Yoo Jae Myung. So these dads are composed of like these veteran actors who are always supporting actors in a lot of K dramas, right? In fact, a couple of these dads, Musung Choi and Yoo Jae Myung, are actually veteran bad guys, right? But here they play these different dads, and I thought it's amazing that each actor was able to portray a different kind of dad. Um, and these four dads are they reflect most of what dads are. So it's impossible for the viewer not to relate to at least one or all of them, right? Sung Dong Il, for example, was this dad who thinks he's cool and close to his kids, but he's actually like very afraid to talk about his emotions, right? I mean, we see a lot of dads like that. Uh, Moo Sung Choi, for example, is the steady, silent type dad who provides everything for their kids but never shows outward emotion. Yoo Jae Myung, for example, is that super strict dad who kids feel like he takes pleasure in tormenting his own kids, right? And my favorite, personal favorite, is Kim Sung Kyun, who's like that dad who loves his dad jokes. Right? He thinks he's super funny. He thinks he can fix everything electrical. Um, and my favorite actually was when he does his President Kim greeting, where he says like "Hello, President Kim." Like I mean that was really funny because he tries to get people to do the greeting with him, where he raises his hand and says "Hello, President Kim," and the only one who does it is Joksun, who's not even related to him, right? So he tries to get his wife to do it. He tries to get his son to do it, um, and nobody wants to do it. And I think one of my favorite parts was when he was very depressed, and so his son Junghwa was trying to find a way to cheer him up, and so when he starts his President Kim greeting, his son was like, "Oh, I don't want to do this, but he's depressed, and I want to make him happy." So he actually does the greeting, and then his dad's face just lights up. I thought that was super funny, but also heartwarming at the same time. Okay, number seven, I want to talk about the moms. So we have Ramiran, Kim Sung Young, and Lee Il Hwa. So these are again three veteran actresses that always play supporting roles in K dramas. Um, and what I love about these three actresses is that they were able to portray um, moms, Korean moms in 1988 would probably have taken a back seat to the dads because it's very traditional, especially in the 80s. The dad is the head of the family, and then the mom is basically the homemaker. You're supposed to cook and clean and take care of the kids, right? So they were able to portray that they were these traditional Korean moms, but at the same time, they were able to show that they were really strong, independent women as well. That they were able to get stronger through trials, and I thought that it was the acting from the three actresses that were able to do that. And my favorite part about their friendship, the three moms, is that money never became an issue because one of the moms, Rami Ran, actually because the family won by some stroke of luck, they won the lottery and they became rich, right? And then the two moms, one family had debt to cover, and then the other one was a single mom with no income other than government pension, right? So there were two families that were poor and one family that was super rich, but never in the series was the money became a problem. Like no one was jealous about the money. No one was selfish with the money. They barely talked about how it was never an issue, and I love that. All right, number eight, food and fun. So there's a lot of food, but there's not a lot of food porn for this particular K drama. All right, for the fun part, there's a lot. There's a ton of fun parts. I mean, I think half of the reason why this show is super successful is just for the nostalgia part. For me, a movie buff, I love that they referenced a lot of 80s stuff. So La Bamba, the movie, Predator. I think they showed the Golden Child, but I'm not sure. That could be an Easter egg. They mentioned Two Moon Junction, which is like every teenager's dream to watch it in the theater because it's R18, right? Die Hard, Top Gun. There was a Dirty Dancing poster in the back. So, and then for TV, there was a Knight Rider reference um, because the dad, I think it was, uh, well, anyway, one of the dads was talking into his watch with his new car, right? Hello, Kit. And I thought that was funny. They also mentioned Double Dragon, the game, Galaga, and one of the funniest things was they had one episode where one of the characters was given a chain letter, and then he had to write seven chain letters, right? Because that's I remember that early 90s that was a huge thing. I actually received chain letters in the mail, handwritten, during that time. So I laughed out loud at that one. All right, number nine, Verdict. For me, I think this is a tremendous series that's worthy of watching. Um, but I have to be honest, like reviewing it as a straight guy. There's no action scenes at all. There's some fart jokes. There's actually a lot of funny jokes, but at the heart of this is a family drama. So this is not one of those where you pick up the popcorn and eat. um, the episodes are not gonna fly by. In fact, one of the things I want to talk about is that this show has episodes that are an hour and 30 minutes long. So it's like 20 movies in one. So this is not an easy watch by any stretch of the imagination. It's a great show. It's just that there are no action scenes. There's not a lot of buddy comedy. There's a lot of talking, and a lot of drama. Finally, ratings. So overall, like I said, this is a tremendous show. Um, it's like watching 20 indie movies in a row. So I would give this an overall rating of 10, 10 Korean hearts out of 10. But like I said also before, there's a ton of melodrama, no action at all. Um, Comedy's pretty good, um, but for the straight guy, I think most straight guys would rate this as a 7 over 10. Like, they would love to watch this, but they would probably watch this one episode a week, maybe, or once every 2 weeks. So this is not a series that's going to be easy to binge watch at all for straight guys. But still, it's a must watch. Okay, there you go. This is my 10-point review of Reply 1988. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this as much as I enjoyed talking about it. And let me know in the comment section which K drama I should review next. And then, meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. And you can watch my other videos right now.